Hello Mila, hello Jack, hello everybody else who's watching. Welcome to Storytime with Grandad. Today's book is from Captain Pugwash, and it is The Painting Contest. Portobello town was buzzing with excitement. The governor was holding a painting competition, and everyone was invited to paint a picture of their favourite person. Captain Pugwash wasn't a bit interested until he heard that the prize for the winner was 200 gold doubloons. "Clattering canvases," he cried. "Let's get painting." Pugwash and his crew hurried to the town square, where Boris Rubles, a famous Russian artist, was teaching the people of Portobello how to paint. While they had their lesson, Tom talked to his friend Tony. "Mr. Rubles comes to the cafe every day," she said. "We're great friends. He's been teaching everyone for the competition. Who's the captain going to paint?" "I've suggested the governor," said Tom, "as he's the judge." They didn't know that Duck, one of Cutthroat Jake's crew, had been listening to them. Duck quickly sneaked away and met the rest of his crew in a dark doorway. "Pugwash is painting a picture of the governor for the competition," he whispered. "I'm not going to let him win," hissed Jake. "I'll enter a picture of the governor too. But first I must find someone to do the painting for me." They heard footsteps coming closer, and Jake peered out. "Ah, it's the artist," he growled. "That's just what I needed." When Mr. Rubles walked past them, Jake's crew leapt on him and dragged him into the doorway. "Help! Help!" cried Mr. Rubles. Quickly, Swine gagged him. "Take him to the Flying Dustman," ordered Jake. "Now I have a real artist do my painting. I'm sure to win." The next day, Captain Pugwash and his crew were painting on board the Black Pig. "My picture is bound to please the governor," said Pugwash, adding a splash of red paint. "But come along, crew, let's see what you've done." Willie, Jonah and the mate held up their pictures, feeling very silly. "Stuttering starfish," said Pugwash. "You've all painted me." "That's right," said Willie. "Your turn now." "I've painted my most favourite person of all," smiled Pugwash, holding up his picture. The crew were speechless. Pugwash had painted himself. "Top hole art," said Pugwash. "Parcel it up, Mr. Mate, and put on my special mark. Then take it straight to the governor's house. I'm sure it's going to win." Tom wasn't so sure. It was the most terrible picture he had ever seen, and he was worried that everyone would laugh at the captain. He wondered whether Mr. Ruble could help. Tom ran to the cafe to look for Mr. Ruble, but Tony hadn't seen him all day. "Mama said that Duck was hanging around here yesterday," said Tony. "Maybe Cutthroat Jake has something to do with Mr. Ruble's disappearance." "I bet you're right," said Tom. "Come on, let's find out." Together they set off towards the harbour. On the Flying Dutchman, Cutthroat Jake was forcing Mr. Ruble to paint a picture of the governor. The artist was doing an excellent job. "When it's dry, wrap it up, take it to the governor's house," Jake ordered his men. "Pugwash doesn't stand a chance now." Tom and Tony watched as Duck, Swine and Stinker left their ship carrying a large parcel. "If it's a good painting, we'll know that Jake must have taken Mr. Ruble's prisoner," said Tony. "Let's get into the governor's house tonight and take a look," said Tom. "I know a secret way in." That night, Tom and Tony climbed onto the roof of the governor's house. Tom led the way through an open skylight, and they lowered themselves down on ropes. They crept silently through the dark rooms until they found the paintings. They were all covered with curtains. "There's Jake's painting," whispered Tom, spotting the pirate's mark. They both peeped behind the curtain. "Just as we thought," said Tom. "This has been done by Mr. Rubles. Cutthroat Jake must have kidnapped him and forced him to paint it." "We can't let Cutthroat Jake win," said Tom. Quickly they swapped Jake's mark for Pugwash's mark. "Captain Pugwash will definitely win now," said Tom. Then they left the governor's house as quickly and as quietly as they had come. On the day of the competition, Tony waited until Cutthroat Jake and his crew had left for the governor's house. Then she crept into the Flying Dustman to rescue Mr. Rubles. She found him tied up on deck. "We must go to the governor's house quickly," said Tony, untying him. "Then we can tell everyone who really painted Cutthroat Jake's picture." At the governor's house, Lieutenant Scratchwood was unveiling the pictures. "My favourite person by Captain Horatio Pugwash," announced Scratchwood, pulling back the curtain. Everyone cheered when they saw the amazing picture of the governor. Pugwash smiled and bowed. He didn't notice it was the wrong picture. "That's my painting!" bellowed Cutthroat Jake. For once, no one heard him. At the next painting, Scratchwood announced, "My favourite person by Cutthroat Jake." Everyone laughed and booed. "This is monstrous!" cried Pugwash, as he realised what had happened. "That's not my painting, and that's not my favourite person," roared Jake. "He's my worst enemy." Jake grabbed Pugwash by the neck. The crowd screamed. "Silence!" shouted Scratchwood. "The governor is here to announce the winner." The governor looked at the picture of Captain Pugwash. "Very interesting," he said kindly to Jake. Then he moved on to the picture of himself. "However, the winning picture is this excellent work painted by Captain Horatio Pugwash." "That's my picture!" roared Jake, as Pugwash stepped forward to take the prize. At that moment, Mr. Rubles and Tony burst into the room. "There's been a mistake," cried Mr. Rubles. "That's my picture. Cutthroat Jake kidnapped me and forced me to paint it for him." The governor was horrified. "You will go to jail, Jake," he said. "And the prize money belongs to you, Mr. Rubles." "Oh no," said Mr. Rubles. "Brave Captain Pugwash must have the prize. His friends saved my life. I'd like him to have my painting too. You can have his own interesting picture for your art gallery." Captain Pugwash was delighted. "A triumph, me hearties," he cried. 200 gold doubloons, a painting worth a fortune, my picture hanging in the governor's gallery, and to cap it all, Cutthroat Jake out of the way for a very long time." Then he and his crew went back to the Black Pig for a top-hole celebratory tea. The end. Goodbye, Mila. Goodbye, Jack. I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.